we would see Team Sonic as they would be battling Team Dark. Team Dark would confuse them for the imposter. And as the fight continues on, Knuckles would grab Omega and slam him through a wall. Amy would fight off the gun guards, and Tails would try and hack into the vault to try and stop the intruder. However, Sonic and Shadow are too determined on trying to attack each other and are not able to listen through. Shadow then tells Sonic that it was him who did it all along, and that he was the one responsible. But Sonic said that he didn't do anything. They thought they were past this by now. But Shadow says they're clearly not, before dashing into him, as they run around the base, avoiding all of the gun traps placed around. Shadow would even use his teleportation to kick Sonic against the wall, but Sonic charges up his power and elbows Shadow in the chest, sending him back. Just as the two are about to finish the job, they get caught in a trap by none other than, Neo Sonic. But he takes another form of a gun soldier, and he essentially tells them that he caught them and is going to give them to Walters for a timeout, considering of the damage that they caused to the gun base. As he walks off, he walks into the main area to gather the rest of the Master Emerald shards, and since now he has, all but one, he decides to lure Knuckles the Echidna back to Angel Island. As Team Dark calms down, they then notice a bunch of egg drones around the area, including some that look familiar, these being white metal Sonics. And the group are wondering why, but these look to be a little bit different ones. They seem to be almost like the ones that Eggman makes, but very unique. But we would then see Amy smash them completely. Knuckles would instead decide to go back to Angel Island, as he's angered by Sonic as well. And he decides to head back there now, as he opens up a ring portal to go to his island. Sonic, Tails, and Amy are left in the gun headquarters, wondering what to do. They try to think of many ideas, but they can't, really. However, when Knuckles returns to his island, he looks around, and he thinks that it all looks fine, and that while the shards are gone, maybe the island needs some sprucing up, but he won't stop at anything to get the Master Emerald back, and that maybe perhaps his connection with it, he could lure it back to the island. As he closes his eyes and prepares to meditate. Meanwhile, Team Chaotix are still trying to get answers out of Agent Stone, who they begin asking questions to see. They all basically play good cop, bad cop with Agent Stone, who reveals to them what really happened and showed the security footage that it turns out someone that Neo's control, Metal Sonic, upgraded himself off screen and he took over the Eggman Empire for his own benefits. The group are not surprised as Vector figured it out. On Angel Island, a stormy weather is beginning to surge, to which Knuckles notes that it's not even windy. However, what he doesn't know is that Neo-Sonic shows up. Knuckles is immediately shocked when he sees that it's Metal Sonic. And then Neo then electrocutes Knuckles, tackling him completely to the ground, and bashing him against one of the pillars, knocking him out in the process before heading to the Emerald. However, the portal opens up, revealing Team Sonic, Team Dark as they approach onwards. Sonic would help Knuckles up, to which Knuckles pushes him away. And as they get up, Neo sees them, and Sonic is surprised to see Metal Sonic. Neo would explain, of course, that it was him all along that did all this, turning the teams against each other and breaking the Master Emerald so that he could rebuild it and gain the powers of the secret of its power. Just then, a massive crab meat crashes on the island as it flies on in. As Vector claims he's not very good with these kind of controls, as they come out with Agent Stone, who wanders to the ground. He tells Neo-Sonic to stop this madness and to get back in line, as the Eggman Empire doesn't run on, well, certain parts. Tells him to get back in line. However, Neo refuses, claiming that his creator was weird and a joke. Stone then immediately flips and fires out blasters towards, well, Neo, and claiming that Eggman was 10 times better than he ever will be. And Sonic spin dashes into Neo, catching him off guard, and everyone chimes in, fighting Neo. However, Neo-Sonic is able to beat everyone in a fight. He's able to avoid attacks from Rouge, Amy, Knuckles, Sonic, and Omega at the same time. Shadow then teleports in front of him to punch him, but Neo transforms and electrocutes Shadow from behind. He then grabs Sonic and Knuckles and slams their heads together. He then morphs into, well, Shadow, gaining his abilities. And Sonic immediately calls him a copycat, to which Neo does not take this kindly and punches Sonic. He then slams him in. And then Neo says that this is pointless, as he zaps everyone with electricity. However, this doesn't affect Sonic, as he spin dashes his way in. However, Neo backhand smacks Sonic, but he is relentless and avoids the attacks before activating a massive boost dash, and he does the homing attack, which is pretty cool actually, because I think Sonic needs to do that more often. Sonic grabs his friends and they hide behind a rock, just as Shadow is distracting. And Vector grabs Neo-Sonic, and SPO goes in for a couple of hits. But Neo-Sonic sends out an electric current that blasts them all. He then says that this is pointless, and that they're just delaying his grand plan. As he walks up the steps of the altar of the shrine, Knuckles would come in to stop him. However, he smacks Knuckles aside, and just as Sonic and Knuckles are about to get him, a blast of energy happens. And Neo absorbs the power of the Master Emerald, turning into Super Neo Metal Sonic. With this form, he then fights back against Shadow, as well as Sonic and Knuckles, crushing them and humiliating them in the process. Tails tries to hack into Neo's armor to destroy the form, but Neo-Sonic crushes Tails' Mars Electric and his gadgets. Omega begins firing missiles and all sorts, as well as bullets and guns, but Neo he comes in and slices off one of Omega's arms in the process. And Sonic dashes in, punching aside, but Neo fires back with golden electricity that burns. Knuckles would then summon the Flames of Disaster, trying to crush him, but this fails. And, well, Rouge is not happy with this, as she throws bombs down below, but this does nothing. Team Dark admit that there's nothing they can do. He's pretty much invincible. But Shadow is not giving up. Sonic is not either, as they then charge towards him at the same time to try and fight him. And as Shadow gets punched, Sonic spin dashes into Neo, punching out the emeralds completely, causing him to fall down. To which Neo Sonic starts laughing maniacally. Like, kind of creepy. Charmy asks, is that supposed to happen? Vector is quite suspicious on why he's laughing, and Espia comes to the conclusion that this is a trick. This was part of his plan. Just then, Knuckles grabs Neo, who's still got his golden form, since the emeralds have been punched out of him, but they're grey. It's almost as if he took all of the negative energy from them. Neo begins to laugh, or, well, kind of laugh. He then is glowing even more drastic. He claims that what he's been doing over this entire course, he's been gathering data from everyone, life data, from not only them, but the Chaos Emeralds and the Master Emeralds too. All will kneel before their master, before he metamorphosizes, absorbing everything in the area, constructing himself a new body and turning into Metal Overlord, as he roars at the top of his lungs, mechanical lungs, and then fires out green to yellow electricity, flying off into his giant wings, as he picks up nearby debris of old Eggman technology and buildings, well, from old shipwrecks, to craft something even more bigger and dangerous. Sonic looks up. Just then, Neo comments, "Sonic, come show me what you're made of. Oh, and don't get cold feet," as he holds up Tom and Maddie, being held up by the hand of Neo. Sonic is caught off guard and tells that he has to go save them, as they scream out for Sonic while looking down below, as they just woke up and they have no idea how they got here. Just then, Neo reveals in the clouds what he's created: the Egg Fleets, a massive armada of ships. Then he places Tom and Maddie there, and to guard them is a ton of metal Sonics, which have drone bodies. And they begin their plan to destroy the world and rebuild it as the Metal Empire, full of machines. Of course, Sonic tells Knuckles Amy aren't going to accept this, so the group all figures out a plan. Sonic says that Team Dark will go around distracting, will go out and see if they can rescue Tom and Maddie, whereas Amy will go with Team Chaotix and will try to distract them. And Team Dark agrees. Shadow says that they will try and rescue them and will try and blow up the ships. However, they mentioned that for Amy, for her to keep an eye on Agent Stone. And she's not happy about this, but she comes to her. And as the group all sets off on their own, Sonic says the line, "We'll show that creep the real power of teamwork," which makes them all happy. Team Dark would of course boost up using Omega's jetpacks and Shadow's teleportation skills. And Team Sonic unites together as they use the Chaos Emeralds, even though they're drained of energy, to use the positive energy to destroy Neo, Metal Overlord. And with a blast of energy, they transform into Super Sonic, Super Tails, and Super Knuckles as they blast off into the stormy sky to stop Metal Overlord from destroying the world. And everyone all cheers. And the battle begins. Neo laughs this off, saying that, "Long time no see, Sonic, my loathsome copy. You think the golden super form's going to help you? You won't survive any of this," before flying on in and burning through the clouds. Sonic, Tails and Knuckles would work together as a team to battle off Neo. And there would be some awesome scenes seeing here. We would see them slashing, bashing and destroying everything in sight. However, Metal Overlord would be ripping up everything, crushing it all completely, destroying anything that can move. Meanwhile, Shadow and Rouge sneak on board one of the ships and destroy some of the robots around. And luckily, they find Tom and Maddie, and they get them to safety. However, they are overwhelmed by all of the Metal Sonic clones around, and all of the badniks. But luckily, Team Chaotix come into the picture, as they fire a whole bunch of missiles destroying parts of the ship. And just as Neo looks to the side, he sees a massive ship crashing into him. He then grabs it and slams it into Team Sonic, declaring out he is the true Sonic as he powers up with more of the energy from the Master Emeralds and begins to grow in size, summoning more spikes, more deadly parts. However, Sonic notices that there's still a weakness now that's been installed, the Master Emerald area in his chest. Knuckles goes dashing in and decides to pull out the Master Emerald. With enough energy, he does, and Sonic delivers a powerful punch, finishing off Neo, as he collapses into the ocean, clearly fried. And he sinks to the bottom, broken and destroyed. As the group all land down below, they're all happy that it's over. Knuckles puts the Master Emerald back in, and the island ascends to the sky again, and the weather clears. Tails is happy, Amy's happy, and Team Dark seem to be on good terms with Team Sonic. They claim that it's not going to be easy to explain this to Gunn following this adventure, but they'll try. And they say their goodbyes. However, Agent Stone sneaks away with the Egg Fleet and flies off. As he fires on a hook down below, it picks up Metal Sonic's remaining damaged body and takes it back to, the lab, since it's a powerful robot and a property of the Eggman Empire. Sonic is then congratulated by Tom and Maddie for rescuing them, and they decide to head back to enjoy some much more needed peace from the action. And Sonic says that he can't wait to return home to have a chili dog. Our post-credit scene begins with Agent Stone looking at the damaged Metal Sonic. He begins to think that since now he's back in charge, he doesn't know what else to do. There's no real proper leader to turn to. Just then he hears a familiar voice. As he turns around, a portal opens up, and Dr. Robotnik appears, smiling wickedly, as he says that he has so much to tell. Did you really think I was gone? I was just taking a breather between things. And I finally have the plan to crush that hedgehog once and for all.